Duck, duck, goose, found a pussy in a dollar bin. Guess you forgot your galana bin. Can't get loose, get your guts, got your tongue again. Rope burn on your hand, are you numb yet? I can go with a drip medication. Learning man, I can deal with your crystal. Every night, I can make it illegal. And if it goes, that's what you stood by your side through all of the lies, watching you cry for me. Get on your knees, apologize please. Now why don't you die for me? Call me the king, ruler of things. Give me that diamond ring. Get on your knees, apologize please. Now why don't you die for me? I can go, but it's your medication. Murder man, I can deal with your crystal. Every night, I can make it illegal. And if it goes, that's what drives me. Yeah, you were right this time, you were right this time. Take a look around, look what you did last night. What you did last night, never heard a sound. Yeah.
Two tags, he is the hero. Yevny, oh dear, showing the back to Ambition. Oh no, he received a shot, now he's a one shot. Oh dear, Yevny, can he survive? It's the $1 million question now, can he survive? He race. Oh my god, oh no, he found a whoopsie! He found no! Oh no! Good evening everyone, we are back with the Proof of Skill tournaments. The 4th edition it is on the Asia server. It's going to be E7 versus ENT we begin with at the start. So let's begin briefing you once again. Got into a big chunk of time explaining the seeding of the previous skill tournament. So once again, it's not seeded from the average win rate data in the game. That I believe is the total number of battles over the total number of wins over the total number of battles for all the members in the team, and that is not the metric that was used for the seeding. The metric used for the seeding is the average of the win rate of the 7 best players in the team. That information can be found on the portal or the website, not in the game. So, if anyone is wondering how Wargaming is seeding the teams using the strongest or weakest principle, the parameter they are using is the average of the 7 best win rate of the 7 best players in the team, not the metric in the game. So. Just have to, I don't want to spend a huge chunk of time once again on explaining how seeding works, but all games are played in the best of 3 series nonetheless in the previous skill tournament of Mangolingo, and that means whichever team wins the first 2 matches will win the fixture. The format is a single elimination knockout stage for the match. For the 3rd place, and the tournament is seeded by the average of the win rate of 7 best players in the team. Well, I just announced that earlier, so I mean, it's good for me to announce it once again, so why not, though? And the team earns a number of cups depending on where they finish, and the leaderboard ranks team in the descending order of cups. The top 8 would advance to the Professionals tournament, and the 9th to the 16th place would advance to the Challengers tournament. One previous skill tournament is spread out across 2 consecutive days, with at most 16 teams in one group, and the top 4 of each group will advance to the games held on the 2nd day. And we are on the 2nd day with at most 32 teams in one group, but tonight we only have 8 teams. But all games will be played in supremacy mode nonetheless. Both ENT and E7 have already earned 677 cups, and they can earn as many as 2011 cups if one of them wins the entire tournament tonight. The previous skill tournaments are held from 26th of April to the 14th of May, and the 1st to the 8th place, as I said, will be advancing to the Professionals tournament held on the 19th of May to the 23rd of May, and that's the same period as the Challengers tournament. And we will begin with the quarterfinals in around 11 minutes. And here we go with the lineup. We begin with Nat backwards as the captain of the team, and then we also have Nuggets and Fries, Nuggies and Fries. So that's kind of a cute way of saying Nuggets though. But also we have Gamma, Ruler, Chromatrox, Uretard, Nitroglycerin, Pink Puffins, Alex, and also Maddox, originally best known as the founder of Feast, basically, but he has since then moved on to E7 after having a row with some of the members there. But anyway, the past is the past, and E7 is a really interesting team. I'm going to have a lot of stuff to say about them. I just have to make sure I just have to make sure that I can load Discord well. I mean, both of them have sent me a long passage, which is really good when it comes to introducing these teams to you guys. Here we go. E7 is a team formed by a group of friends during the Twister Cup 2018. Most of the original members have since moved on to other stuff in real life, but the clan culture of E7 is to have fun, and while trying to be very decent in the game throughout the years. They try to take it easy most of the time, but you know, sometimes nervousness gets into their way. And also, we try to force themselves in trying new things, getting out of their comfort zone. And a majority of their team is mostly from Singapore and also Australia, with a few from Cambodia, India, Malaysia, New Zealand, and also one is coming from Weep country. No, that's what they said to me there. Most of the teams, most of the members here are students, apart from Nuggies, which the leader claimed to be working as a male stripper, but no. That is what he said to me. So it might be wrong, or I don't know, but I don't want to judge. But they have no expectations coming into this season. But I mean, and in fact, they have banned everyone in the team from messaging or saying the W word before any game is W. So they do not want to have too much of a thinking or kind of an pressure to win games, and they used to play under Kane and also GSM back in the winter season last this year. They attained the first place in the Spring Challenges. But they had an incident where several members were banned for countdowns during mat games and missed the qualifiers for Spring Professionals. But I think that didn't hurt them too much. I mean, they got first place in the end. They got second place in 2019 Twister on the Asia server, and fourth place in 2020 Spring season. And yeah, as I said, some of them they played under King before, and some of them were in Boone in autumn 2020 and Cats as well. And the average age, the age of this team is between 17 years old to 22 years old, and yeah, this is E7 for you. Next, we have ENT, and thank you Wargaming for the pain. And hope you are going to enjoy great games tonight. Next we have let me find for you. It's ENT. ENT was created by Juicy. And here is the team. We have Clutch, which I think is Juicy. Rename user, Devil Anthem, Kang Wars, Roses are Rosie, Necromancer, Legacy Striker, Complex Mind, and Fallen Angel. And Juicy created ENT last year around November. And the reason for doing that is that he always wanted to lead his own team. And that is his dream coming true there. Most of the people are from they have people from Taiwan, Japan, India, Australia, and China. I'm not sure if that's but I mean, that being said, you can have at most 2 players from foreign regions, so you can have 2 people from elsewhere, not in the listed countries on the Asia server. So they communicate in simple English, so if you can understand English, you can join ENT. So if you want to apply to ENT, and if you have good simple English, then apply to ENT. And this is their second season, and last season they were in the top 8, and in the previous YouTuber they performed really well. I think they were in the 3rd or 4th place, but that was very, very good. And and they have a mixed age. They have a mixed age group. They didn't specify exactly the range, but some of them are studying and some of them have jobs. Another thing is that people don't speak in voice channels so a lot, except Roses are Rosie and also Juicy. And he has asked me particularly to tell Necromancer to start speaking in the voice chat. So please speak something in the voice chat. At this time, they are trying to get top 4, hopefully. And everyone's doing their best, but they still make mistakes from time to time, and they're still learning from them. And during the training, they try very different strats and playstyles to kind of practice different types of situations and different types of approach. And they are trying to go for more reactionary strategy or playstyle. And in the end, this is probably his last season as the team captain and caller, because he will be busy with his real life. So hopefully ENT will get a really good result, and hopefully it will be a good farewell for Juicy, and probably he will have to assign someone else to call instead of him. I think the room is up, so I'm going to head into the room and let's change my tank. Please tell me if I should change it to a heavy tank for some of the maps, because some people have complained about that, and I don't know which maps are which, because some maps you need. Some maps I should be taking a medium tank, some maps I should be taking a heavy tank, but you never know. Hello Frozen as well. So here we go with E7 and ENT on Dynasty's Pearl. It's a very heavy oriented map because of the long narrow corridors and a majority of the map being very flat. And that is on the northwestern side of the map. Southeastern part of the map is a lot more rugged. That's really good for hold down tanks. But you will see a lot of mouses because it's really good in closed maps and also working in long narrow corridors, which means the narrowness will make it difficult for other tanks to go past the mouse basically, or maybe to avoid the mouse altogether, or do cross shots against the mouse. So you are seeing ENT going very super duper heavy, and Kraken saying that's all lies. I didn't actually heard that part about E7 with all of it, but I don't know if it's true, but I do not want to judge. So here you go. Wait, just going to lower the blind so that the backlighting is not too bad. Well, just wait for me for a moment. Right, hello, this is Park as well. So in this one, we are going to be seeing in the lineup Clutch in the Crown Bargain, or Juicy. I think Juicy is the Crown is the one playing the Crown Bargain. Devil Anthem in the Ice for Quadruple Mouse by Ken Walls, Roses are Rosie, Fallen, and Striker. Necromancer is going to play in a VK90.01P. We don't see that often in tournaments because it's a weird combination of mobility and also armor, and it kind of takes a middle ground, and that is often not something that the teams want to go for. I mean, the armor is still pretty good, but the mobility is pretty decent, but it's nowhere as strongly armored as the mouse. And the gun is also pretty bad as well. Very low DPM. Accuracy is okay-ish, but really the DPM would not be ideal at all. When you're talking about a less armored tank than the mouse, then you probably want to go for mouse instead. But anyway, it's still very great tank, and I mean, it's still very popular tank to this day. But the E7 is on the south side, red team with Maddox in the IS4, Nuggies and Fries also in the IS4, and Triple Crown Wagons by Pink Puffin, Seven Ruler, and Gamma Neck Backwards also in the IS4, and Yuri Taunt is in the IS4. So many heavily armored tanks on both teams, but E7 going with no mouses, but that doesn't give them a big hit point disadvantage. In fact, they're only down by 400, but with Nat backwards taking some hits there. That is not the best or brightest start for E7, and they do not want to lose any more hit points like that, because against the mouses it's going to be really hard. And E7, unfortunately, we have to play like Chibi to focus the mouses, and really no alternative. But the Gamma is taking some hits from the mouses of ENT. I mean, if you keep on dropping hit points like that, Maddox, what are you doing right there? He's getting a little bit too over ambitious with getting shots in. Traded very poorly right there. Puts only one shot in, but takes like 2 or 3. He even takes more than that. So I think that was a very big misplay from Maddox here. Don't know what he's thinking at the moment, but one could only imagine. But ENT has done really well getting both B and C, and that means it's going to be on E7 to make the rotation, and from the looks of it, they have to make it quickly, because ENT have 2 caps and they only have 1, so the deficit means that they have to kill more than 1 tank, and even 2 in order to win this game, and the only thing they could do is to get some cap resets. But Striker going for A, ENT is really ambitious in the caps. I mean, E7 is just like, they have to act. Striker is trying to get A, but he's getting bounces, and ENT is just very aggressive. They definitely don't have to be aggressive, but they just relishing the chances of being aggressive, and E7 have not did not predict that to happen, but they are just going straight for Necromancer. But on the other hand, Maddox is dead, and Nat backwards is also dead, and they've gone a really long way trying to get Necromancer down, and they're trying to get B as well, but the cap points are firmly in favor of ENT. They are now almost 800 cap points. Ruler is tracked once again. Great track shot from ENT, and Ruler is going to go down very soon with Necromancer also dead. And I think there was a misspelling right there in the chat. That wasn't a good word right there, but both A and B are still in the hands of ENT, and E7 they would be trying to get a tank out, but it was not going to be the case, and it's going to be ENT with the first win. Great job to ENT for securing both bases and and acting more quickly than E7. E7, I don't think they have a good lineup right there. It's simply not going to be able to counter those very strongly armored tanks of ENT with those quadruple mouses. Very ambitious move there, but it worked out brilliantly for them. And E7, I think it's also very low DPM, and against Mouse has really low DPM, so you really want to make use of your DPM to counter that. And IS4, perhaps it's good against Mouse because it has really good heat penetration, but in this case, it really the DPM is kind of important when you're talking about the mouses, and sadly it hasn't worked out brilliantly for E7, and I think they are going to change a lot of things up here. They're going to use mouses as well. They're going to copy ENT strat because it was working so well for ENT. But ENT is doing something that's slightly different. They're not going for quadruple mouse, they're going for triple mouse instead. But E7, they dropped their quad mouse strategy. Hello Helby, how are you doing? So far it's 1-0 for ENT, and it looks really good for ENT at the moment. Okay, ENT. Okay, so VK can hold the corner, that's all. Interesting. I don't know that, so that would be really interesting to see. But both teams are taking triple mouse. That means it's going to be sextuple mouse across the board. But it's going to be Alex and Gamma in double IS4, triple mouse by Nat Backwards, Nuggies and Fries, and Pink Puffins, double T 135 by Ruler and Uritard. ENT is going with IS4 by Necromancer, double Clans by Ken Wars and renamed user, Roses and Rosie in triple mouse alongside Striker and Fallen Angel with Juicy in a T110D5. And this time, red team will be E7 on the north side, ENT Southspawn blue team. They're going mostly to C, and it's going to be a brawl fest very early on in the game, and I don't see any alternative to that. And there is going to be someone going to be, I think, from the left-hand side or from the north side. But E7 is not doing that though. That could be a problem with C attempting to be captured by those IS4s. That will give E7 the cap lead they want this time. And ENT is approaching this really defensively. Striker is going through the middle. Let's head into his perspective. He's going to get some really great shots into E7. But look at ENT trying to absorb the push from E7. I think E7, they might have pushed the wrong tanks though, because now Fallen Angel is going to be stopping that from happening, and E7 hasn't been able to push further into the ENT's forces. Now that means Kang Wars have rotated with Ruler being the first tank down. Look at Fallen Angel blocking, trying to block those tanks of E7 trying to cross into this lane here. They are taking a lot of hits trying to do that. And Necromancer is going to put a good shot into Alex though, and that Backwards is stuck. Oh, he's really stuck, but he got himself out of this quagmire. With Uritard is now dead, Clutch is now dead, Alex is now dead. It's now 4 versus 6. Hit points are still firmly in favor of ENT, and we also have Nuggies and Fries down, and it's going to be quite a slaughter around this corner. And for those of you who are living in these buildings, they should be very happy about this very exciting stuff happening around here. Pink Puff is trying to ram into rename user, but I think rename user doesn't like muffins at all, so no muffins for you, rename user. So Fallen Angel is going to be a one-shot. Will he be killed by Pink Puffins though? It's going to be the case. But rename user is still looking to kill Pink Puffin, but it's going to be a battle of DPM. Meanwhile, we also have Gamma now a one-shot. Necromancer kills off Gamma, but Pink Puffin is going to go down pretty soon. He's going to put a shell into Cam Wars, and that's the case. And it's going to be 800 capos for ENT. They will try to finish off Pink Puffins, and they've done that with rename user now getting that kill with Cam Wars stuck while trying to go down, but that won't kill him. Although it will be quite a funny thing to see when he killed himself for doing that. But it's going to be ENT doing brilliantly in absorbing the rush of E7, and particularly I think the mouse is a striker right there, blocking E7 from trying to cross from that lane, and you have to report him for that, blocking people. But he's blocking the enemy, so he is spared from that. So you cannot get him banned for doing that. So E7 triple tanks doing more than TK, but I believe they might have decided way too early and make a push, especially when they have the cap league. Equally, they also have that A cap being abandoned or left in the open, so ENT absolutely can go for a cap right there, but both of them don't have any mediums or lights. So if I were E7, would not have made that decision too early, especially 3 mouses on the ENT side and a mouse in the middle. In B, actually trying to punish whoever's trying to cross off. Well done to ENT, and E7 will be out for tonight, and here we go. ENT 2-0 against E7 with the play against ECG. Let's look at the results of that. They're still playing against ECG, but on the other hand, we have HLV versus Feast. HLV, they are still playing Feast. We also have RN versus GV, and it's going to be still it's going to be playing still. So that means ENT versus E7. We are the first. This is the first match to be decided. Oh. But E7 refused to be interviewed. I think they were very disappointed with that performance on Dynasty's Pro, and I think ENT was much better in that battle, and it's a bit closer. They're aghast. And let's see. Yeah, we got just flipping through. Right. So let's continue to see the results. Maybe we have more results coming through. ECG versus Der 2-0 for ECG. That means they will be facing ENT next. On the other hand, we have HLV versus Feast, which is going to be a result pending to be shown. RN versus GV. They have won GV 2-0, and they will be waiting for the another semi-finalist. Semi-finalists for another semi-finalist right there. So here we go. HLV versus Feast has gone into a tiebreaker, but both teams are safe in the top 8. So whatever result's going to be in the end, it's not going to matter much for both these teams. And I think they will be playing just for experience and training, and also learning as well. So congratulations to ECG, ENT, and RN, and all these three teams. They have hyphens at the start, at the end of the clan tag. So if we update the leaderboard for you as well, will ECG leapfrog RID to get the 8th place? Very close. They are now in the 9th place with 18,714 cups. If they finish anywhere higher than the 3rd place, they will overtake ID for tonight. But if they get the 1st place, they will not overtake Cat. So if they beat ENT tonight, they will overtake ID, and ID will need to fight really hard to get their top 8 place back. But ECG, they have so far been really impressive, beating Cats, and they have gone on to do really well yesterday in the group stage. So I think they can surprise us a few. And zero damage, yeah. But we also have RN in the 1st place, Feast 2nd, HLV 3rd, ENT 4th, GV 5th, E7 6 Cat 7s and ID precariously in the 8th place. De, on the other hand, is also very close to the top 8, but ECG might be there to bar the entrance of De after they lost to ECG earlier. But the rest of the top 16, we have PGMT, Kane, NQE7, DTGBB, and DCGTB. Right. Oops, the bot. Right, so let's actually analyze the second game if it's already there. Juicy in a T110. Okay, so let's change to the screen. And by the way, please tell your friends to watch the stream. Hopefully we get more views tonight. So far it's not very good. Hopefully we get more than 30 viewers tonight at least. That would be really good. And if it's above 60, that's even better. But here we go. Nope, wrong screen. 5, and this time red team will be E7 on the north side, ENT South Spawn blue team. They're going mostly to C, and it's going to be a brawl fest very early on in the game, and I don't see any alternative to that. And there is going to be someone going to be, I think, from the left hand side or from the north side. It's quite weird that E7 does not take any tanks to B because as you see very soon on the ENT, when I jump into the mouse, you definitely want someone to be just to kind of prevent crossfire into that. Okay, so crossfire into that can be very important for those who are crossing through here that will get shot and so on. So you definitely want someone in this lane if you're taking the C, if you're going to C. Sometimes I see a 210 there. You can try hold down there, but it's not common. But mouse is the most common tank for that purpose. But let's continue. But the problem with the mouse is that it's quite slow, so you might not be able to reset B just in time if the enemy team decide to take a very quick tank like the batch hat or the medium tank to capture B. But then it's not the best method because you will be trapped right there, probably. So let's continue to watch. But E7 is not doing that though. That could be a problem with C attempting to be captured by those IS force. That will give E7 the cap lead they want this time. And ENT is approaching this really defensively. Striker is going through the middle. Let's head into his perspective. Look at that. Look at that. Striker has a lot of angles. You can see. As you can see from his perspective, these tanks capturing C will be shut down. And if he goes further in, he might be able to shoot tanks over here as well. So in my opinion, that is probably a spot that you do not want the enemy to take. Especially when you're getting caps. And I don't know if these tanks from E7 is going very aggressively. I don't think they need 2 tanks in C. 1 tank would suffice probably. And well, I don't know what's the E7's game plan, but they're playing this one very, very aggressively. If they try to rush that, you don't really need 2 tanks because all you want to do is to kill 7 tanks. So a base is good, but it's not the top. It's not at the top of your priority list. So let's continue to watch. Active's going to get some really great shots into E7, but look at ENT trying to absorb the push from E7. I look at E7 really doing really well here with that lineup. You have the mouse being at the forefront. You have to put that mouse in the forefront though, because the mouse is meat shield face on with any tank. It's going to take some effort from the enemy team to aim and push shots in. If you need to aim, that means your DPM will be lowered. So that is good stuff from them. And E5 being the weakest tank is kind of at the back, but equally I could just put that here, and if it gets focused, the mouse can just turn and block, turn and form a lambda shape to shield that E5. However, that mouse I would say just probably maybe go forward a little bit more, but E7, I think with these heavy tanks there, they can't really go through, and this is why teams take a lot of big and heavily armored heavies right there. You can definitely create a lot of choke points with these narrow lanes. So let's continue to watch. But I think E7, they might have pushed the wrong tanks though, because now Fallen Angel is going to be stopping that from happening. Look at Fallen Angel just trying to ram into tanks, trying to destroy the momentum that it's building from those heavy tanks trying to cross through. And E7 may have left it a little bit too long to push through, because now Kang was there to rotate back there. So I mean, E7 would need to make a decision to whether to push through or else they're going to be down. They're not going to have a number advantage. But that's and even though having the idea to push that in the first place, probably not the best, because you have the mouse, which is very healthy. E5 will be dropping the reactive armor, so the focus will be on Necromancer. But it's going to take some way. He's at the back, and that means E7 would just have to go a really long way, and that would waste some time for E7, but let's go to watch. And E7 hasn't been able to push further into the ENT's forces. Now that means Kang Wars have rotated, with Ruler being the first tank down. Look at Fallen Angel. He is aligning his tank horizontally. That would mean he will get shots from these heavy tanks, but also at the same time, because the lane is narrow, it will reduce the space that the heavies can go through. So that's a move to stop the E7 tanks from crossing into this lane and try to get the heavy tanks right there. So good move from ENT right there. Look at Fallen Angel blocking, trying to block. Yeah, you can see how Gamma was denied access. Good job from Fallen Angel right there. Those tanks of E7 trying to cross into this lane here, they are taking a lot of hits trying to do that. And Necromancer is going to put a good shot into Alex though, and that Bapkus is stuck. Oh, he's really stuck, but he got himself out of this quagmire. With Urital is now dead, Plush is now dead, Alex is now dead. It's now 456. Hit points are still firmly in favor of ENT, and we also have Nuggies and Fries down, and it's going to be quite a slaughter around this corner. And for those of you who are living in these buildings, they should be very happy about this very exciting stuff happening around here. Peg Puff is trying to ram into Rename User, but I think Rename User does. So I mean, the takeaway in this match, you can see ENT very comfortable in this match. That the ENT forces trying to defend a lane like here. That bought a lot of time for ENT to rotate from the other side to shut down tanks here to make a move from there. For E7, they probably want to take multiple lanes, so they only took this lane right here. They won't take this lane as well. So they want to kind of pencil them in the end, not just have all the tanks right here to face the frontal armor of the heavies, because their back is pretty vulnerable. So you want something to rotate from the back side, and that is kind of main takeaway. If you want to rush tanks, you probably want to take multiple lanes, so that your rush can still flow through and not be stopped by the defending tanks while you're under numerical disadvantage on the defending team. Absolutely, you need to make a move on the other side. You cannot sit there and do nothing, because they can hold for a finite amount of time, and when you do nothing, that means you're going to lose hit points and give the advantage to the enemies in terms of hit points. So well done to both to ENT, and I think the room is up very soon. So let's go back to the lounge. Lots of things happening in the chat. So I'm going to go through it and say hello to every one of you. Yeah, I think the iPad's Discord version is a bit bugged, so I'm going to read it from my desktop then. Right, so yeah, make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Do so right now. Obviously, we need a lot of likes. We need a lot of love to those teams participating tonight. So not just about me, but also the teams playing tonight. We have Oops and Kraken just going with one another, and Oops getting timed. No, it's me getting timed out. I don't know what's happening, Kraken, from that. But I had an interview with Campo the other day. They aren't really making use of the season to get a really high position. He claimed, he said that Team ID is just going to get some more experience, and there is more focus on personal skills and maybe strat building wise. So I think they're in a rebuilding phase, and this season is not at the top of their list in terms of performing really well. They also don't have main players, I believe, because some of them went to the army. So I think this season is just kind of a filler season and trying to train the reserve players pretty much. So ID is struggling a little bit. Okay, Royal Tiger, Conix Tiger saying trash. I don't think so. You're trash probably, but hello to you guys. And what is the lineup from ENT? A lot of mouses, typical of in Dynasty's Pearl. So am I surprised? No, I am not. I think Stain, or you should be surprised that you don't. You think you should be surprised that you're surprised about that lineup from ENT. That's kind of a surprise inception right there, but I don't care. Oops will pay 10 USD to whom? For peace in the chat? No. I don't accept that kind of donation, so F off you. Hello Layla, didn't see that. Hope you're still watching and hope you enjoy my stream. Yes, Spartan, you said it right. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for telling me I'm a handsome guy, but I need someone to be loved. Right. Hello, Subhut. How are you doing? Not much to say, but actually, we don't know about the results of Feast versus HLV. We can see it right now. It's going to be 2-1 for HLV. Alright, so it's going to be HLV versus RN next. No, it's Feast versus RN next. What am I talking about? Right, let me change the overlays for this one though. Oh, thank you. Now 26 viewers, a lot better. Thank you very much. Hopefully, can we get more than 30? Perhaps 50. That would be brilliant, brilliant. I'm begging for views, so it's a shame. You know, I'm the one to be shamed. So make sure you share this stream to everyone right now, and I hope. I mean, ECG, very great of you to get into the semi-finals already. I'm very excited to see what they're going to deliver to us. In this one, we are on Naval Frontier. We are seeing Naval Frontier a lot, but this is kind of a weird map. Sometimes teams would go very heavy on this map, but some teams would go very medium-wise. So we were going to see how it's going to be approached. But as I say, if you want cap pressure strategies, go for both A and B. These two caps are really close to one another. Map control, you might want to go for C because then relatively open area. Rotating to A and B is probably easier than you think. Hello, Blitz, how are you doing? Yes. It seems 260 doesn't seem too worthy. I think so. The armor is not really the best. But now, ECG going with my Ayanami-chan. Please tell me if I butcher your name. Is in the 50B. Chen, JJF, and the IS4 with Fury, Norman, the Crown Bargain alongside Coke, Botto, the FE405, KJDL, and a T110 alongside T110 alongside JDFK with Bunado. In the biggest slide. So let's head down to Bunado right now. This is a Chinese-speaking team. I think some of them are from China, but maybe some of them are from other countries but speaks in Chinese. No, Mandarin, that is. Because Chinese, there are a lot of different dialects in Chinese. Mandarin and Cantonese being the two more popular ones. But you also have, is it called Chaozhou? Or Shanghaiese, I don't know, but it's like a lot of local dialects. So it's Chinese is not as simple as you think in terms of like spoken wise. So here we go. B is captured already by Chen. So it seems ECG is playing with cap pressure. They is going to be captured by both my Ayanami-chan. No, it's just going to be by Ayanami-chan in that on name. Problem is that ECG does not have the hit point pool lead though, and they also have relatively. No, I don't think they have relatively low DPM because equally ENT has 2 crown bargains. That's going to offset things out here, and but the problem I think might be the armor right here because AMX50B is kind of weak. Vickers Light is also weak. On the other hand, I mean ENT is taking the Vickers Light, but they have double IS4, double E5, and double crown bargain. That armor-wise, ENT has the advantage. That would be main thing to look at when ENT is going to make a push. The clutch seems to have found an angle right there, but he couldn't put any shells into Chen. That is really good awareness right there. But ECG is gradually losing some hit points. ENT is applying pressure, but ENT has to act quickly because they're losing. They only have 1 cap compared to ECG with 2, so they cannot just win by kills. They need to get at least a cap and also some kills. Rosie's trying to brawl against Furry. Norm is going to put a good shot. Oh no, it's a bounce right there, but Furry pushes the shell into Rosie before he's tracked. But are we seeing some push right here? Oh, it's going to be the case. Necromancer is going to gets some crossfire to JTFK. He is the first tank down, killed by rename user right here. ENT's made the push right here, but the hit points are still in favor of ECG. Necromancer is going to be the next tank down potentially. ENT's push can backfire right here, but Fallen Angel is trying to get FE445 KJDL. KJDL is now a one-shot, and he's killed by Rosie. And ENT is still down in cap wins. They're trying to get B, but Chan is there to make sure that's not going to happen. In the first place, Bunado is looking for Fallen Angel, but he's going for Striker instead. But it's 1v1 right here. ENT is still down in cap points. They are losing Fallen Angel, and rename music is going to go down really soon. In the matter of seconds, really, because Coke Bottle with that miss is going to give ENT some time. The strike is now dead, and ECG will be winning with 1,000 cap points, and ENT unable to get a cap while they're trying to rotate. But I think ENT tried their best in killing tanks, but it's not going to. But it was not happening. Not going to happen. Where I think it's a bit of a late timing in terms of push, or they haven't been able to focus their tanks well and secure B, and ECG was able to stop ENT from getting B, and hit points are very, very close indeed, so it could have gone either way if we look into that only. But if we include that cap into the equation, then ECG has done a lot better, and this one's well done to ECG. 1-0 to ECG, and ENT will need to win 2 on the run. Oh, Spec is back. No, I don't think ECG is KDS. They are more like low for me. So I don't think they're KDS. At least JTFK is with them, and at that time KDS was they don't have JTFK. JTFK was in low at that time. So consider ECG to be more like low instead of KDS. I don't think we are going to be seeing something like KDS right here, but ECG looking really strong. Zhang Peng on the subs bench. Don't know why he doesn't spectate. It would be a good idea for him to spectate the matches, but he's not ready. Complex and Fallen Angel will be spectating. We're seeing on the second game ECG with double T185 by Bunado and my Ayanami, double Crown Vaga by Fury, Norman, and FE405. Four letter word after that. Cook Bottle, IS alongside Chan and JTFK. ENT, double Crown Vagans by Clutch and also Rosie. Kang Wars and Decrements, a double T110 E5 with Devil Anthem in the T110 E5. The Clutch and Rosie, double Crown Vagans, double IS for Kang Wars and Decrements, Mouse, rename user, and this is going to be Striker and the biggest light. So ECG are on the south side. We also have ENT, blue team on the north side. Yeah, so let's follow Striker. He's going to get some spots in. He's in that bush to spot whoever is going to cross its way. But maybe ECG is not going for A this time. They're going for a more map control-ish strategy. And look at JDFK trying to get C right here, but will Devil Emperor be able to get reset shots? But no, FE405 is going to be there to shut down Devil Anthem if he dares to reset JDFK. So great job to ECG. They got hold of C ready, and Reading User is doing the burn-in move. He's going into B. And Fury Norman is going to get some shots into Reading User, bounce that shot. But Fury Norman gets punished a little bit. He is there in this position. He is going to reset Reading User probably. And look at Reading User. right here. He is getting shot from left and his forward as well. My Ayanami-chan is stopping Radium user from getting B, so he's getting out of here. But ENT, on the other hand, has made a move to get back C, and Chen is receiving some hits right there. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to pronounce Ayanami-chan because I don't know Japanese pretty much. I'm sorry about that, but I'm not sure if it's a good idea for double IS forwards to get Chen right here. ECG might have guns on that though, so Chen is still struggling to hold on. But I mean that might have exhausted too many resources for ENT to get a tank down. And ENT's down by more than 1k of hit points, and Furry is trying to get B, and he's going to get hold of B. That's good, but Chan is going to be the first tank down. ENT is taking way too long for that. Oh, Roses and Rosie, that was a very bad shot right there. Gets a terrible shot after he's got tracked. But Necromancer is now dead. ECG is really making ENT to pay for trying to get Chan out of this game. And now it's going to be ECG with more than 1k hit points with 4 KJDL now killed by Devil Anthem. This is still really close call, but ECG got 2 caps already. Codebot is now dead. It's now 4 versus 5. ENT can still win this one, but it's going to be unlikely. However, they have lost the hit point pool lead, so nothing can be certain at this point. ENT with Striker still full health. That is going to be really important right there. My Ayanami-chan is looking for a shot into Striker. He's going to put a shot into Striker here. Good shot right there, but Striker is going to kill. No, it's going to be clutch killing off my Ayanami-chan. Kang was now down as well. JDFK is going to get C, so ECG still has the hit point pool, still has the caps at the moment. Devil Anthem, if he goes down, ECG will be up by quite a lot of cap points right here. Bunado is going to go down very soon. Striker, Devil Anthem is killed by Bunado, but Striker is going to will try to kill off Bunado. He does, and Bunado can't get a shot into Striker, and that leaves JTFK the last tank standing. And I have no idea how ENT managed to put it out of the bag after they spent so much time trying to shut down Chen. And I think it's probably down to ECG very spread out in this situation with Radium users now killing off JDFK. That means it's going to be 1-0 for both teams. So well done to ENT, 5 tanks doing more than 2k, but ECG, they might want to consolidate better, 4 tanks doing more than 2k, but otherwise reacting to what ENT is doing, I think they have the idea here. I think they know what they want to achieve, but I believe the positioning of the tanks is not working for them in terms of executing the plan they're having. But I think they have a better strategy than ENT. ENT is simply better in shutting down isolated tanks and really making use of the tanks they have. And great play from Striker right here. 3 kills, more than 4k, man of the match for me. And we are on to Faust now. So I'm just going to double check whether I got overlays right. Great, so I got the overlays right, so don't worry. But that 30 seconds remaining. Faust, it's quite a different map. Faust is a lot more perceptionally bigger because you have a lot more area that you can work a town with. I think you can see, I think it's possible to win from both sides, like southwestern corner and northeastern corner. Northeastern corner will favor heavy tanks and some hammer down tanks as well. You have the ramp that you can work your turret with. On the other side, you also would want to take some combination of different tanks. So I think Faust is going to be a combination of hold down heavies, heavily armored heavies and also medium and light tanks. On the other hand, I don't know what I'm talking about, so let's head up high. We are seeing double back chats by Bunado and My Iron Army Chan with Coke Bottle in the IS4. Kramwagen will be played by KJDL and JTFK. Chen will be in T110E5 and Zhang Peng in the T95 E6. Oh, this is a very interesting tank though. T95 E6, good mobility, but the accuracy on the move is very, very bad, so you do not want to risk trying to get a snapshot in, and you want to stay relatively passive. Not passive, relatively unmoved. If that's the right term for that. So ENT is trying to apply pressure onto the northeastern side, but look at that. ECG has already made a move to shut down Kang Wars, and ENT absolutely must make a move on the other side. Rename is there, but he needs to go in to support Kang Wars. But ENT unable to do anything on the other side. Coke Bottle receiving some hits as well. The bad shots are on the drum reload. Kang Wars is lucky that he didn't get shut down already. ENT is still looking to get some shots in, but looking at that, ENT is now making a move. Zhang Pan is in loads of trouble. He's dropping the adrenaline. Clutch is going to get some great shots into Zhang Pan. Zhang Pan is in deep trouble. ECG now is the team that needs to make a move. Zhang Pan is going to receive a big shot from Roses and Rosie, and Roses and Rosie dropping the reactive arm is going to absorb quite a lot of hits. Zhang Pan is going to go down on the other hand. ECG is going to do something, but Coke Bottle is going to fall apart, and he's going to fall apart pretty heavily. And now Roses and Rosie a little bit low. Zhang Pan, no, I don't think he's there. FE405. I don't know what I'm talking about, so apologize for that. My Iron Army Chang, he's trying to kill off Roses and Rosie, and he's actually killed. But ENT has a very, very solid hit pool advantage with My Iron Army Chang. Very low indeed. Necromancer is going to try to get a shot into KJDL, but My Iron Army Chang is killed by Clutch, with Rename User putting a shot into KJDL, and he's going for another tank instead. Clutch is now dead. Chen is also dead. It's now 3 versus 5. Great ram from Rename User right here to stop Ardo from escaping from this. He might be able to get more shots in with Bunado. Great shot from Rename User. HE Shell into the backside of Bunado with Necromancer. The focus for ECG right now, both JTFK and Bunado now one shot. And this is a very good performance by ENT. I think everything went south for ECG when they are unable to finish off that IS4, isolated IS4 right there in the middle. And that double back chat is a very, very ambitious strat, but it does not work brilliantly if you take a lot of hits, because Bad Chat has really low hit points, bad armor, DPM is also relatively low, the accuracy on the move is also not ideal as well, so it did not work out for ECG. Although Bunado did more than 2k, but T95 E6 obviously didn't pay off. Good hold down tank, but when we talk about yeah, not a good hold down tank, but if you get pushed, then it doesn't work anyway. ENT didn't fluster at all after ECG tried to make a move in the middle. T22 tried his best to get some shots in. I think there are also tanks from ENT positioned in a way that will get shots in into the middle of it. So great positioning from ENT throughout, and they timed the push really well in the end. So ENT fully deserves to get into the finals, and we will know which clan they're going to get. No comments from Oops. So it's going to be Feast 2-0 against RN, and it's going to be Feast versus ENT. And RN will be fighting ECG in the match for third place, but ECG will want to finish, will want to win against ECG. No, ECG will want to win against RN. They can't win against themselves. If they do, they will overtake RID to become the 8th placing team on the leaderboard. But I think ECG, I think they have some brilliant glimpses of a great play right there, but I think they kind of faded off. I think they need to work better with their positioning wise. But strats, I think they are very good with strats. They have good ideas. I think some of their ideas could have executed better with other tanks and with better positioning. ENT, great reactionary play from both games though. And Faust is a much more comfortable game for them. Navy Frontier, I think they are blessed with ECG positioning floor there, but it's going to be ENT versus Feast, so it's going to be interesting how it's going to pan out. So let's update the leaderboard. That's a good idea. Yeah, Bat Chat's going to go B and yeah to A, but equally, you can take Bat Chats to get one tank into A, and the other near A to spot whoever's trying to go for A. 7-star strat. That shows ECG did their homework, so it didn't work out. That's quite a long time. Ace Ventura versus 7-star. I should watch that, but yeah. We are seeing ENT versus Feast in the finals, and third place it will be ECG versus RN. But what is going to be the leaderboard right here? Feast is going to be in the first place tonight with 25,208 cups. RN in the second place, 24,780 cups. ENT in the third place with 24,424 cups, and ECG with 18,740 cups still. So we still have around 13 minutes left, so while we're waiting, let's once again talk to you about Entity, or ENT. Clutch is the captain of the team. We also have Radio User, Devil Anthem, Kang Wars, Roses and Rosie, Necromancer, and also Legacy Striker, Complex Mind, and Unfallen Angel. So Entity was created by Juicy because he wanted to lead a team by himself, and some friends came along and they started to play tournaments, and it was founded last year around November, and they have some people from Taiwan, Japan, India, Australia, and China, and as long as the people there can understand simple English, they are welcome to join that clan. So if you are a very good tournament player, if you want to join a new tournament clan, go and apply to Entity. Because this is a relatively new clan, so they don't have much to say about the clan history, but during the winter season they finished, I think, the 7th to the 8th place, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong. I can't be bothered to scroll up all the way to check, but this is their second season and they have so far been pretty impressive once again, and they have pretty mixed age groups. So some of them are studying and some of them are working, and some of them don't want to talk in voice chat, particularly Necromancer, so they need to they want to communicate more, and it's at the moment just Juicy and Roses and Rosie communicating. It's not sometimes it's okay to stay silent so that you don't clutter up the chat, but as a caller for me, I always advise you to say something in the chat, particularly when you are alone and you need to inform the caller what is happening on your side. The caller does not have more than 2 eyes, so it's really good that you sometimes inform the caller when you're getting rushed, or maybe when you have some modules damaged. That is always some important information for the caller to decide what to do next. They hope to get top for the season, hopefully, and the training is all about trying different strats and to be reacting to what the enemy is doing. And this is probably the last season with GC being the caller of the Entity, so hopefully Entity is going to do really well and send Juicy a good farewell. And if Juicy was to Juicy might want to participate in the next few seasons as kind of a second line player probably. We still have 9 minutes left, so that means you're going to see me torture myself in randoms. So let's do that. I mean, we also have that ×5 booster, so why not make full use of that and grind Yak Panzer V100. And let me get some biscuits. I'm sorry. Yes, yeah, I was wrong about that. Feast 2-1 against HLV, not HLV 2-1 against Feast. It was Feast 2 winning against HLV. I was wrong. I'm sorry about that. I don't know about RN used to trying Mercy strats until this season. I think this season they kind of at the start used Mercy strats and they kind of changed a little bit. But it's not for everyone though. Mercy strat works because their players are really skilled players. But if you're not skilled enough, then you're going to then the enemy's allowed to react. So it's not always the best idea. But I'm a bit worried about cheaping going for me though. But it's hard because both teams are playing it really offensively. I'm going to stay here probably. If the heavy's getting shot there at spots, then I can come. Oh god, they are perfectly shielded by that hill right there. Can't do anything. Namex, why did you die there? Are they rushing the other side though? Well, hopefully so. Yeah, that started to hit. Could hear that. I don't know where his go. Maybe his school. Maybe he's very busy with school and exams. Too hard. That's a good opportunity for me to make a shot. Turning the turret in at the wrong moment that they're going to get that heavy tank, so I'm going to hold here. Wishing for the best. Well, let's hope that Dexter is not going to get some shots at me. Although I'm not a one-shot, oh good job. Shutting down that standard B. Oh shite. Oh please. Lord have mercy, no. Can't do anything much. The team is really good, this one. Hello, Vanality, how are you doing? Come on, get out, you're one shot. Oh, come on. Oh. He's really showing a tiny wee bit of his armor, so I'm not going to risk. Chief to just shoot a shell. Yeah, he focused the bloody hell. Yeah. That wasn't a good one. Other than that, it's a win for the team, I think. Great one. Right, we are back after having some little snacks. It's going to be ENT versus Feast. We are back on Dynasty's Pearl, which, as I said, is a very heavy oriented map because of the long narrow lanes. So you're going to see a lot of German heavies and some IS4s. Not a lot of mediums and lights though, because the map is also perceptionally small, so, and also very close as well. So that kind of makes it hard for mediums and lights to work with. But then to work in. But then, if you can flank, if you can get isolated tanks well, you can absolutely rack up a lot of damage. We saw that before. It's not uncommon that the mediums and lights can do a lot of damage on this map. And now we're going to see Feast with F Silver and the T22 doing a lot of good things. But here we go, we're going to be seeing sextuple German heavies with triple mouse by Hidden Surprise, Z-Park, and Enchanted. Enchantool. I don't know how to pronounce that in French, please forgive me about that. Bifrost is in the triple VK alongside Sleeping Lion and Sugar Mugu. Clutch double T175 alongside Devil Anthem. Necromancer in the IS4, but quadruple mouse by Ken Walls, Roses of Rosie, Rename User, and Striker. Yep. Object 260 is in the store. But it's very expensive if you buy a bundle. But the offer with the 3 crates contained is absolutely worth a try. So, Dynasty's Pearl, we have ENT, Red Team, South Side, Feast, Blue Team, North Side. And you can expect a lot of action around AB. You can't really do a lot of, send a lot of mouses to the park side, although you still have the narrow lanes, but the terrain can be quite a nightmare for the mouses to operate with. So mouses love flat ground, and they love to use armor, but the terrain in the park side would not be the best place for the mouse to go. But yeah, but you never know. They can equally go to C, with some mouses going into B. But it's going to be septuple mouses. Yeah, septuple mouses across the board. So it's mouse spam ENT with more than 20,000 hit points. So that's amazingly high for ENT. But Feast is not long. It's not far behind. They have 19,553 hit points, so this is going to be interesting. Let's see, F Silver, he is the medium tank, he's going to get some spots up. That's going to be very important information. ENT seems to be sending tanks mostly on C, while Feast is sending most of the tanks onto A. Necromancer puts a shell into Enchanter, but didn't pen, obviously. So hit points is still in favor of ENT with Feast now onto Way. That's really good. But C is going to be captured by ENT, but that will give Feast the cap lead because they got A earlier. And Striker is getting shots at, and Feast hasn't lost any hit points so far. That's a great start for Feast, not so great for ENT. But the deficit is within a kill. So ENT just need to kill a tank and swing it back to their favor. So if I were ENT at this time, they can plan their rotation. They can work out the positions of Feast and chip away the hit position themselves to chip away the hit points of Feast, and then regroup to coordinate a rush on either flank. But it seems Feast are looking back at their flanks. They are predicting ENT to make a play, but also Feast have positioned their tanks to reset B. So absolutely, if ENT wants to go for B, they will get shots at heavily. But equally, these platforms are also susceptible to shots as well. And ENT is trying to communicate on chat, which is not always a good thing. And GC is really desperately calling for communication in the voice chat. So, which one are you talking about? You need to specify the timeline. Then maybe I would tell you the name. I'm great, Venality. Thanks for asking as well. When new PC? No new PC for you. Sorry, Vanquish. I don't have money. Donate money to me. And also because I'm probably moving 2 years after, so it's not the best idea for me to, switch to desktop. But ENT is still leading hit points is still very dull. So while we are waiting for any action to happen, let's see what ENT can do right here, because they are the one that needs to do rotation. The weak link I'm seeing is Sleeping Lion Hong Kong, because in the VK and doesn't have the react farmer obviously, and the mouses are not aiming at that. I mean, Hidden Surprise aiming at that, but you can definitely go around and ignore that quickly enough. But while the other tanks of Feast, they're kind of skewed more towards, I can't say for sure, but pushing on both sides will be difficult. But Sleeping Lion Hong Kong sides going to be that building will get some spots onto their spawn. So if I were ENT, I really don't know what to do in this situation. Apart, I think going back to the spawn, rotating from there will work a little bit. They cannot rotate on one side. They kind of have to do it both ways. But Enchanter were getting punished, ENT getting shot at as well. So it's going to take into 800 cap points. So I think it's going to propagate really quickly. Ooh, Hidden Surprise missing renamed user right there. But Camels getting hit as well. This is still really close to go, but ENT now has more than 1,000 hit points of advantage. Feast tanks are gradually losing more hit points. Now ENT is going for B, and Feast is going to get their tanks to shut down whoever's going for B. Look at the mouses going into B. This is going to be carnage. But ENT is still getting B, and Striker is there to shield clutch. Oh no, Feast is in loads of trouble. Kangaroos is eviscerated already. So it's going to be 6 versus 7 for ENT right now. But ENT still with a hit point pool lead. Hidden Surprise is down. C Park is going to be the next focus for Feast potentially. But Roses and Rosie, he's looking for Enchanter instead. Oh no, Zipark is now dead, and I think the next tank Feast is going for will be Clutch, and it's still really close to call. Caps are stopped on both teams because both teams are trying to cap bases at the same time. But at the same time, we also have Dental and 1 vs 1 against Sugar and Mugu, but all the action is happening around the B side, and Chantor is potentially the next tank down, but Feast is leading by cap points, but that will change because now Enchantor is now dead. It's going to be 5 vs 4 with rename user now very low, but Sleepy Light Hong Kong is going to be our 2-shot potentially. They need to put their shells in. Rename user is desperately holding on, but on the other hand, Devil Emblem still 1 vs 1 against Sugar Muga, still really close to call, but C is now getting, it's not getting resets. Feast, their capos are taking ahead once again. I don't know, ENT needs to kill tanks as soon as possible. If they lose Striker, that could be well and truly over for ENT, and that is the case. F Silver killing off Striker with C being dealt with by Feast. That is the most important thing that Feast has done, and well done to Feast trying to respawn. They're totally prepared for ENT going into B, and ENT should have done something. Should not have focused too much on capturing B, but rather rotating on the other side, because Feast was very prepared for any pushes onto B, but they were also dropping hit points gradually, so ENT didn't make it work. I think some of their shots have bounced. Let's actually check the effectiveness ratio. 3 shots not into, 3 shots not hit by rename user Necromancer. Wow, half of his shots, almost half of his shots didn't pan. Devil Anthem, 4 shots didn't pan. Striker, half of his shots almost didn't pan. Roses and Rosie, 2 shots didn't pan, and Kang was almost perfect. Clutch, half of his shots didn't pan, and that is, I think, is a lot of shots not connecting with these lineup, so tanks. So I think that is a huge reason why ENT lost that one. But also they were in close encounter with Feast's tanks, so it's always a difficult thing to do, and I think both teams are practicing it a lot. But it is what it is. ENT with a lot of bounces really cost them the game. And I think it's good if you don't play World Tanks Blitz for a long time. It's always good to put your mind away from World Tanks Blitz. Sometimes it can be very stressful. But if you feel very stressful, always watch tournaments. They are always the most exciting thing to happen. Yeah. ENT versus Feast. Triple I is forced by Devil and Camels and Roses and Rosie. Rename user and Striker double mouse. Double T175 by Necromancer and Clutch. On the other hand, Feast are going with Triple I is for Winter Fox, Sea Park, Super Lion, Hong Kong, and we have Hidden Surprise in the mouse. Double T125 by Bifrost and Sugar and Mugu, with F Silver in the Vickers Light. So let's head down to F Silver once again in that Vickers Light, because he's going to get loads of spots, but no, he is going to be at the start. So I think I don't know if Feast knows that ENT is not going to be reset though, but he's going to get out of B very quickly. ENT not sending any tanks into the middle. Oh, they're going to send Striker. F Silver almost made a mistake to try and get out of B too prematurely, but he took a shot from Striker and he got spotted. He can't go into A. Striker will be there to reset though. Feast got B. That's going to give them some cap advantage, and ENT would not be able to get any caps. We've got, oh, F Silver took a big hit from Striker. I don't know why he had. Don't know why that happened. Doesn't have to, but great job in punishing F Silver for being careless right there. Striker saying rush left, but it seems no one's listening on ENT side. Okay, we're seeing some action happening on here now. They're really trying to rush left, but it's kind of poorly coordinated, and ENT is trying to
Rush, I mean Bifrost. Oh, he got isolated now. He's going to put some, Ian's going to put some really great shots into Bifrost. Oh, my Necromancer. Oh, got heavily tapped. And this is going to be really, really close call. This has descended into Entropy. And Clutch is going looking for Suga and Mugu. Winter Fox getting shot at. But Clutch is the first tank down. Necromancer is going to be the next tank down for ENT. And it's going to be killed by Sleeping Lion Hong Kong with C Park wasting the shell. And that turret is blocking the way a little bit. Striker is calling for focus on Silver, F Silver. But I don't think any tank from ENT is close enough to do that. But Feast is falling apart in terms of hit points. Rusta Rusi looking for Winter Fox, and he kills off Winter Fox, so that's good. Bifrost is going to be next tank down potentially, or it's going to be Devil Anthem. Hidden Surprise almost reloaded, and it's going to be Bifrost down next. Devil Anthem closely followed, and it's still 4 versus 3. Feast are still hanging on, but a tiny margin though. With Sleeping Lion Hong Kong now dead, it's now 4 versus 2. This is going to be ENT's game. Great job, great call by Striker to go to the left, but he could have said it on stream, on the Discord, in the Discord voice channel. But that was a really, really good call right there. Hidden Surprise. It's the last man standing. Feast was not well equipped to deal with the push by ENT. They have a lot of isolated tanks. To be fair. I need a surprise now. One shot. And we will be heading into the tiebreaker. ENT has 5 tanks to more than 2k with Feast 3 tanks to more than 2k. Great job there. That was very, very intense indeed. But ENT was in control of this. But we are now on to Hellas. Let's look at the results on the match for the 3rd place. And they have lost to RN12, meaning they will not overtake ID in the 8th place. So ID can take a deep breath and relish about that result. So, who is going to win this tiebreaker, ENT or Feast? Both teams have done very well so far tonight. Feast, I don't know what to say about that. It can go either way. It all depends on who has the better call and the positioning wise. Both teams aren't the best in terms of that, I think. But Feast are going with triple T125s by Bifrost, Hidden Surprise and Winter Fox, double Crown Bargains by James Bond and Sleeping Lion Hong Kong, double T22 by F Silver and Sugar Mugu. The T22 medium makes the difference. I think so. He is really important in securing that C cap and that one Feast again, because at one point both caps are stopped. ENT going with triple T125 by Roses and Rosie, Necromancer and Striker, double Crown Bargains by Clutch and Kang Wars with Devil Anthem in the Ice 4 and Rename User in T22. I don't know if they led unnecessarily at the start, but I think they did a little bit. But it's hard to tell. Where are the 5s? Oh, they're still communicating on chat, but really use your Discord voice channel. It's a lot quicker. You don't even have to type. Blue team, Feast, South Spawn, Red team, ENT, North Spawn, and... Is there a TD? No, I don't think there's a TD. What's you on? But, F Silver, in that bush, is going to get spots. He got spot onto Striker. And Necromancer, he got spotted by himself as well. But not by himself. He can't spot himself. He is himself, so... B is going to be captured by ENT with renamed user. That T22 is going to be very aggressive here to try and stop Feast from getting hold of A and try to rotate, because if they rotate back through their spawn, rename user will spot them up. And ENT is also having some tanks near the spawn to give some map control for them, because rename user doesn't have to get A though. It's a bit unnecessary because they got B, they got cap B. They absolutely do not have to do anything more to get hold of bases. If rename user tries to get a cap, he just risks his hit points actually. So you have ENT defending both sides to get information, and you also have tanks in the middle ready to rotate to either side if Feast decides to rush on one single side. But Feast are still working on how to tackle with ENT's setup right here. The ENT is leading by Feast by more than 100 cap points. That means Feast needs to kill 2 tanks at least to bring it back to that favor. But Feast can also kill, also get the cap at the same time. If they get A, that will provide pressure onto ENT, and ENT would need to act in that situation. Bifrost has taken the hit. Feast is hesitating, and that is allowing ENT to punish them bit by bit. And this is not always a good thing to see, because you need some bargaining power in rotation. You need hit points to rotate. But Feast, if they keep on dropping hit points, it's going to be difficult for them to rotate. So they have to decide on what to do in the next minute or so, because the cap points of ENT are now almost 600, but they will end them. ENT cannot lose unnecessary hit points at this moment in time. They just need to defend. But already, are they making a counter push onto Feast though? Feast has reacted quickly. They might be trying to support Bifrost right there, but Bifrost is in loads of trouble here. Striker puts a good shell into Bifrost, and look at Feast. Feast is now rotating to C. But that would mean A is going to be captured by ENT, so that, I think, was a really good move from ENT. Diverted the attention of Feast to deal with a potential push onto C, allowed Feast to abandon A entirely, and ENT, they can't throw this one away. Feast, they just need to hope that ENT is going to fall apart in the spectacular way. I don't know how. But Feast is still down by more than 1,000 cap points, hit points. But ENT, the formation, they might be isolating those T110 E5s right there. It's still really close to call, but the T22s are going for Rosie instead. He is low in health, but have they gone too long of a way? I don't know what I'm talking about. To look for Rosie. I think they have really wasted a little bit of time right there. Hit is a price now killed. ENT is in touching distance from winning this one. And it's 980 cap points with a 985. Good ram into Winter Fox, but they killed Winter Fox and lost Striker at Rosie instead. And Hip was still neck and neck. But that move right there, ENT, diverting the attention away from Feast on A, wonder of the game. Great play from that. Feast, I think, got outplayed right there. That was the winning move we are talking about. Great job. Devil Anthem, although doing 169 damage, he got A, and that is what matters for them. Well done, ENT won the previous skill tournament for the first time this season, and I think they will be they will be very jubilant about that performance right there. Well done to ENT. Okay, so we will have Juicy in the interview very soon. And let's look at the leaderboard. Hello, Smack again. But here we go, we have Feast with 25,208 cups. But ENT are very close. In the third place, 24,838 cups, but RN 25,090 cups. And top 8, we have this top 6 teams very, very safe in the top 8. Potentially, I think ECG, I don't think any of the clans in the top 6 will dive out of the top 8. I don't think that will happen, but I think even if they qualify to the next day on the first previous skill tournament, they are pretty safe. So I would say it's going to be Cats and 90 that need to be wary of dropping out of top 8. ECG and De are really looking at their heels. So private call. So we have Juicy in the call person. Hello, Juicy.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm doing great as well. Congratulations on winning the 4th previous skill tournament at first, actually, in this season.
You.
So,
Thank you.
how do you think about your team's performance tonight?
I'm pretty happy because we won the Prove Your Skill voting, but we still gotta improve a lot because
Right.
top 8's gonna be what's gonna matter. So yeah, we're still trying to improve every day.
That's good to hear. So you talked about your expectations being top 4, but I think after tonight's performance, do you think your expectations will change?
I guess if we keep on doing better and better and improving from our mistakes, I guess we can. I mean, top 4 is what we are expecting this season. We're gonna try our best, but yeah, we'll see how it's gonna go. We'll try our best.
That's great. That's good. That's good. Last but not least, which clan do you think is currently the strongest on the Asia server right now, and which clan do you think you fear the most to play against?
Actually, all the clans in the top 8 are really a challenge every time because we can't say who is stronger because sometimes one clan beats the other and sometimes the other beats the other. So it's like pretty inconsistent at one point, but at some point there are some clans who are like really consistent, like Feast. Yeah, and then there's HLV, RN, and all the clans, and GV also. They're doing great lately, so can't say who's bad or anything. Everyone is good. Yeah.
Right. I see. I see. So yeah, thank you for the interview and congratulations once again for your team winning.
Yeah. Thanks for the stream.
No worries. Wish you all the best in the rest of the season and see you later then. Have a good night.
Thanks a lot. Good night.
Bye.
All right. See ya.
See ya. Alright, so that was Juicy, the captain of the team, or Clutch, in the chat with me talking about their performance tonight, assessing their performance. They are happy about the result, although they can do better and they still have a lot to improve, but winning against Feast 2-1 is a very, very good call there. It's a really, really good sign that they are a strong team, and well, not much to say after that. They still have the same expectations, and every team they say is in the top 8 is going to be really, really strong, so they do not want to let their guard down to anyone. But that was very impressive performance. Once again, I have to say, that move from ENT was perfectly executed, and I think that was one of the most beautiful plays I have seen for quite some time. So I think ENT can be proud of that game right there. Great tiebreaker, and Feast, I don't think they can do much to salvage that situation. Hello, Pink Puffins. Please don't spoil anything. Great. Hello, Crypt. GG's to all of you. So, thank you all for watching the stream, and hopefully, I'll be back on the EU server. I will be following A1M1 versus Kraken Esports bracket all the way to the finals. So, for now, have a good evening on the Asia server. Have a good afternoon on the EU server. Thank you all, and see you soon. Bye for now.